afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Blaze Radio on YouTube. My name is Tia Reed. I am here with Gabby Ducharme. We are live from Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay Arena, and we are calling Stanford versus Oregon State, the defending national champions, making their first appearance at the Pac-12 tournament. Super excited to be here. Super excited to be on the call for this game. Gabby, how are you feeling right now?
Feeling excited, feeling also inspired by Stanford women's basketball. They're all wearing t-shirts in honor of senior soccer player and student athlete Katie Meyer, who tragically passed away just 24 hours ago. Stanford women's basketball currently wearing shirts. On the back it says Nike Soccer, on the front it's a logo of Stanford women's soccer. It's very obvious what it is honoring. It's very obvious who they are playing for today. So a lot of emotions running high in this one. Oregon State coming off of a pretty big win against Arizona State, who in the last 24 hours have had a lot of turnover in their own program. So Oregon State's on upset alert this evening. Stanford's looking to march on back towards another national championship, and that march starts today, right now, at Michelob Ultra Arena, Tia.
Stanford won this tournament last year, en route to winning the national tournament last season as well. Oregon State, like you mentioned, got a little bit of revenge in their last game as they defeated the Sun Devils, who they lost to in the regular season, able to knock them out. So now we've got this matchup, the number 1 team versus the number 8 team in the tournament. Not much to expect in terms of, not much that you would expect to see coming in the upset, but you never know. Stanford is the number 2 team in the country right now. They've had a phenomenal season, only 3 losses coming, most of them earlier in the season. They lost to Texas, they lost to South Florida, and they lost to the current number 1 seed, South Carolina. So they are looking to march through this tournament with ease and get to the national tournament to compete.
I was just on the call with Walker Smith, one of the bigger upsets of the tournament. The defending national champion runner-up, the team that Stanford had to beat a year ago to win the title. Arizona was just upset by Colorado in the 4-5 matchup, the first game on day 2 of the Pac-12 tournament. So don't underestimate the power of the tournament, the power of an environment like this one.
As these teams get ready for the tip-off, we'll quickly run you through the starters. Starting for Stanford, we've got Anna Wilson, the guard, Lexi Hull and Lacey Hull, twin sisters, also playing guards. Haley Jones, listed as a guard, but plays a little bit more of a point forward role, and Cameron Brink.
On the other side for Oregon State, it's Camp Schrader, Vanelhoffen, Cotting, Corosdale, and Brown, the exact same starters we saw yesterday. Stanford wins the tip. Ball's given off to Russell Wilson's little sister, Anna Wilson. Now get off to Brink on the far right side. Up to Jones. Jones decides to drive it, does a fall-away jumper on the left side, and it's off the mark. Vanelhoffen with the basketball early. The freshman played really, really well yesterday against Arizona State. Led all scorers with 13 points, had a couple of assists as well. Ball's given to Cotting now at the top of the key. Cotting, guarded by Hull. She looks on, she gives it off to Brown at the very top of the key. Brown back over to Camp Schrader, who gets it down low into Vanelhoffen. Vanelhoffen goes up for the layup, but she's off the mark, guarded by the bigger, stronger Cameron Brink. Haley Jones now pushing pace, gives it off to Anna Wilson. Wilson with the big three-pointer to start off play for the Stanford Cardinal in the 2022 Pac-12 tournament. Vanelhoffen now brings it up for the Oregon State Beavers. Vanelhoffen gives it off to Lauren Cotting. Cotting over to Brown. Brown gives it over to Camp Schrader off the screen. Off the screen, Camp Schrader decides to drive it, and she's off the mark. Cameron Brink probably got a piece of that one for the Stanford Cardinal. Haley Jones, a skip pass over to Hull on the far left side, and it's a big 3 to give Stanford the early 6-0 lead on back-to-back three-pointers.
This Stanford team has no problem getting started early on. We saw it when they played South Carolina. That was a big 1-2 matchup. Stanford got ahead early, but they weren't able to hold it through, but we're seeing that early start here now.
Brown gives the ball off on a screen. She's looking to post up. She wants it back. Looks like early on, Corosdale tried to get it inside, but it was a kick ball by Cameron Brink. Vanelhoffen will take it out of bounds on the sidelines, guarded by Wilson. Vanelhoffen gets it into Cotting. Cotting over to Corosdale on the far right wing. She's guarded by Haley Jones. Back to Vonelhoffen. Vonelhoffen decides to drive it on the national champion. She's off the mark, though, on the turnaround jumper at the top of the key. Stanford pushing pace early. From one Hull sister to another. She attacks down the left side. Gives it back up to Haley Jones. Jones guarded by no one on the top of the key. Switches court now, back over to one of the Hull sisters. Jones decides to sling it from the free throw line, but she's way off the mark, hitting nothing but absolute air.
The interesting thing about this Stanford offense, they've got so many pieces that can really come at you. If Cameron Brink's off, you've got Haley Jones. If Jones is off, Lexi Hull can attack. So many pieces, so many options that Oregon State is going to have to shut down in this game.
Corosdale now with it, guarded by Jones at the top of the key. Gives it off to Camp Schrader coming off a screen. Cotting cuts up and gets it. Back over to Camp Schrader on the far side. She decides to try and attack it on the Hull sister. Gives it off to Brown. Brown with the shot clock winding down. A shot clock violation for Oregon State. Great defense right there if you're Cameron Brink in the Stanford Cardinal.
Cameron Brink, Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, voted by both the coaches and the media. One of the best defenders, obviously the best defender in the Pac-12 and one of the best defenders in the country.
Lacey Hall now bringing it up for the Stanford Cardinal. Gives it off to her twin sister. On the far right wing, she's squared up. She rolls off a screen from Cameron Brink, pulls up from 15 feet, but she's off the mark. Rebounds brought down by Talia Vonelhoffen. Vonelhoffen guarded by Lacey Hull at the top of the key. She gives it off to her running mate. Gets over to Corosdale on the far right side. Corosdale to the big man, Kennedy Brown, on the far right side, guarded for somehow by the much shorter Anna Wilson. Shot attempt goes up by Cotting, and it's completely off the mark. Hull attacks early, gives it off to her twin sister, Lexi. Lexi back up to Anna Wilson, the fifth-year senior. Wilson gives it over to Haley Jones. Jones right back to Wilson, who attempts a three-pointer at the top of the key, and she's off the mark. Talia Vonelhoffen, the freshman, corrals the rebound, and she's guarded by the defending national champion, Haley Jones. Jones, the most outstanding player of the Final Four a season ago. Vonelhoffen over to Cotting. Cotting attacks quickly on Wilson, gives a bounce pass back up to Brown. Brown tries to shoot it from 15 feet, and she doesn't make it. Rebound corralled down by Haley Jones. Jones gives it over to Lacey Hull. Hull goes down low into Cameron Brink. Brink goes up strong, and there's going to be a foul call on Brown.
Cameron Brink, not only is she a top defender, but the way she attacks the basket from down low, she uses her height, she uses her stature, and she's really good down low, and she's able to draw that foul there on Kennedy Brown.
Cameron Brink, star player for the Stanford Cardinal. She's a 6'4" forward sophomore from Beaverton, Oregon. She was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. She made the All Pac-12 first team. She was on the All Pac-12 defensive team, an absolute stud for the Stanford Cardinal. Currently 6-0 right now as she goes 0 for 2 from the line with 5:28 to play in the first quarter. Stanford leads. Talia Vonelhoffen with the ball, attacking early. Does a pump fake on Cameron Brink, but Brink is all over it. She tips it over to her teammate, Lexi Hull. Hull attacks, no one stopping her until she gets all the way down low for a turnaround layup, but she's off the mark. Cotting brings down the rebound, gives it over to Corosdale on the far left side of the court. Corosdale on a backdoor cut gets it to Camp Schrader, who gives it off back over to Kennedy Brown for the big 15-foot layup. Oregon State's officially on the board 5 minutes into the ball game. Stanford now attacking on the other end. Lacey Hull gives it over to Haley Jones on the elbow. Jones cross-court pass to the big woman, Cameron Brink, who knocks down the third three-pointer of the afternoon on the baseline left side shot. Stanford slinging it early and often. Corosdale now with the ball on the far end. Gives it over to Camp Schrader. Trying to decide what to do. She's guarded by Hull. Decides not to attack it. Gives it back up to Hall, or gives it back up to Cotting. Cotting over to Brown. Brown gives it to Camp Schrader on the far right elbow. She tries to sling it from 3, and she's off the mark. 9-2, Oregon State is down to defending national champion Stanford early. Haley Jones attacks often, quickly, and fast, and she knocks down the big layup on the right side of the basket. 11-2, Stanford Cardinal coming out, not a bit of rust on their hands in this ball game.
Entering the game now, we've got Hannah Jump and Fran Believy. Believy, the junior from Colorado, had a viral moment 3 years ago when she was just a few years ago when she was in high school. The first player to ever dunk in Colorado women's high school basketball. Fran Believy, she can get up. She's been a staple piece here for this Stanford team the past several years. She's now entering the game for the first time in this Pac-12 tournament.
We will see more of Fran Believy as well as the Stanford Cardinal right after the break. We're in our first TV timeout. 3:49 to play early in this ball game. Stanford Cardinal are leading 11-2 over the Oregon State Beavers. We'll be right back on Blaze Radio. Welcome back into Blaze Radio's coverage of the 2022 Pac-12 tournament. Currently midway through the first quarter, Stanford Cardinal are leading the Oregon State Beavers in the quarterfinals 11-2 with 3:49 to play in the first quarter. Oregon State to take it out of bounds on the far left side. Vonelhoffen gets it into Kennedy Brown. Brown, the big woman, shooting well early on from the free throw line area. Gives it off to Cotting, who attacks early and often. Cotting, guarded by Wilson, gets it back over to Brown. Wants to reset. Brown gives it off to Cotting. It looks like there was nothing going on there. Brown, with the shot clock winding down, doesn't realize it. It's going to be a shot clock violation for the Oregon State Beavers. That's their second violation of the first quarter, Tia.
I mean, this Stanford defense is really good. You got Anna Wilson out there. Anna Wilson, she also made the all-defensive team, consistently plays against the other team's best perimeter player like she is on Vonelhoffen here today. look for her to be a problem for this Oregon State offense.
Haley Jones with the ball on the far right wing. Gives it off to Beliebe at the free throw line. Beliebe sets a good screen for Anna Wilson. Wilson with a three-point bomb, and she buries it. Nothing but nylon for the fifth-year senior. 14-2, Oregon State has no offensive life to speak of in this first quarter of action. Crosdale with the ball, getting hounded by Haley Jones. Tries to get it into Von Hoffen, and it's stolen by Fran Beliebe. Beliebe, shovel pass off to her teammate. A three-point attempt, it's off the mark for the Stanford Cardinal. But Haley Jones corrals down the rebound, gives it right back to Beliebe down low. Beliebe going to work on Kennedy Brown, turnaround jumper. It's good from 3 feet away from the hoop. Currently 16-2, Stanford Cardinal asserting why they're defending national champions. Brown with the ball now at the free throw line for Oregon State. Gives a screen pass off to Von Hoffen. Brown's looking to post up down low on the shorter Anna Wilson. Ball's given off to Crosdale, looking to reset. 5 seconds on the shot clock. She doesn't realize the clock is winding down. Crosdale shoots it with 1 on the shot clock. Air ball, another shot clock violation for Oregon State. That's their 3rd shot clock violation this quarter alone.
This is a stark difference for this Oregon State team than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday in the first quarter, Oregon was shooting 46.2% from the field and 40% from 3 versus Arizona State, but this is a different team entirely. It's a different quality level when you're facing a team that's competitive at not just the Pac level, but the national level.
Checking in for Oregon State, it's 6'9" center, Jelena Mitrovic. Looking to provide some height and defensive play against Fran Beliebe. Beliebe with the ball now at the top of the key. Looking to get it over to Haley Jones on the screen pass. Jones wants to go to work on Crosdale. Another screen from Beliebe. Jones rolls off it. A short jumper, it's off the mark. But Beliebe's down there for the rebound, and she's blocked by 6'9" Jelena Mitrovic of Oregon State. Mitrovic comes in early and often, contributing in the exact way Oregon State needs her to. OSU with just 2 points to Stanford's 16, a minute to play in this first quarter. Mitrovic gets it inside to Campschrader, but she's blocked by Hull, Jones, and Wilson. The ball goes out of bounds. It's going to stay possession to Oregon State. 13 on the shot clock, a minute 15 to play in the first quarter.
That's just good defense right there. The ball gets passed in down low. You want to collapse on it. You want to bring the help. All 3 of those players able to get there, be straight up, no fouls called. That was a good defensive move there by Stanford.
Oregon State shooting just 13% from the field and 0 for 3 from behind the three-point line. They've scored 1 field goal the entire quarter. Off the inbounds pass, it's Cotting who attempts a little jump shot, and it's off the mark. Recently checked into the game for the Stanford Cardinal. It's number 33, Jump. She's in for the Cardinal early. It's her first appearance now in Pac-12 action. Also coming in for the Stanford Cardinal, replacing Fran Beliebe, it's a junior forward from Colorado Springs, Ashton Prechtel. Jump gets the ball at the top of the key. Gives it off to Prechtel. Prechtel squared up against 6'9" Mitrovic. Gives it off to Haley Jones on the far side arms, and she misses it. Really good defense right there by Jelena Mitrovic. Mitrovic gets it now on the offensive end. Gives it off far right wing to Campschrader. Campschrader back to Mitrovic at the top of the three-point line. Campschrader trying to reset. Shot clock already down to 8 seconds. Oregon State not doing a very good job of managing this clock. A shot attempt on the far side by Mack, and it's off the mark with 1 second left. 18 to play in the first quarter. Shot clock is off. Stanford still leading 16-2 in this ball game. Lacey Hull has it at top of key, guarded by Crosdale. A high screen is given. Prechtel comes off of it on the far left side. She does a three-point attempt and it's off the mark. That's going to do it for the first quarter of action between the Stanford Cardinal and Oregon State Beavers. Stanford currently up 16-2 on the 8-seeded Beavers, showing once again why they are the defending national champions.
Oregon State really struggling in that first quarter. not able to get more than just one bucket in the hoop on offense, and on defense, letting Stanford score 16 points in that first quarter. I just want to take a second to mention, though, we've talked about it. I mean, Cameron Brink, voted by media, was the Pac-12 Player of the Year. Haley Jones, voted by the coach, was the Pac-12 Player of the Year. Anna Wilson, though, was the one who really stood out in that first quarter. 6 points, several defensive stops, really showing her worth as a fifth-year senior, or as a sixth-year senior, I believe, for this team. So really working out there, showing you just how deep this Stanford team goes. We'll be back in the second quarter for more action in this matchup. Once again, 16-2 heading into the second. Welcome back to Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas. You are listening to Tia Reed and Gabby Ducharme on the call for Oregon State versus Stanford in the second round of the Pac-12 tournament. We are just about to get underway with the second quarter. Oregon State will start with the ball as Noelle Mannon passes it in to Taya Adams, who will begin the offensive possession for Oregon State. Adams passes it to Mitrovic on the side. Mack now coming around, getting the handoff, taking it to the right wing, and she'll pass it over Mitrovic's head somehow. The 6'9" Mitrovic, that ball just out of her reach, and so it'll be a backcourt violation, and Stanford will take possession of the ball.
Stanford, the defending national champions, and with good reason. They held Oregon State to just 10% shooting in the first quarter, not one free throw attempt, one field goal on the opening possession of the ball game. That's all Oregon State got for the first 10 minutes of play.
Haley Jones takes a shot from the left elbow. Cameron Brink rising up for the rebound off that missed shot. Lacey Hull now bringing it back out to control the floor. Hull will get it to Brink on the side, looking for the handoff, not there. We'll pass it to Lexi Hull instead. Hull will curl around, driving to the hoop, passes it out to Jones, who will pull up from partway through the paint and miss that shot as well. Taya Adams comes down with the rebound. Adams slowing the pace down just a bit here for the Beavers. Drives it down to the right side. Anna Wilson going for the steal, can't get it. Mannon from the left corner will miss that one, just short. Lexi Hull now bringing it back offensively. Drives on the right side, gets it to Jones top of the key, passes it into Brink on the right elbow. Brink gets it down to Jones in the short corner, will put that one up, and she'll miss again. That's her third missed shot in this quarter.
Haley Jones, a player who always has had the green light to sling it from Tara Vanderveer. She knows her star player is going to show up when they need her the most. Right now they're clicking, 16-2. Stanford doesn't need her that badly. But just give it time. Haley Jones will eventually settle in offensively.
Yelena Mitrovic missed one from the short corner. Stanford now on offense. Jones dishes it down in the paint to Brink, who passes it out to Lexi Hull, who drops one in for the three, making it 19-2 Stanford with 8 minutes left to go in this second quarter.
Lexi Hall and twin sister Lacey Hall have been a part of this team now for the last 4 years. The senior from Spokane, Washington was on the 2022 All Pac-12 team. She was on the All Defensive team. She's averaged 11.5 points a game, and she shoots very well from behind the three-point arc. She's top 10 in the conference in that particular category.
Oregon State with simply no answer on offense or defense for Stanford. We'll take a timeout as we'll take a short break. Out of that short timeout break, Oregon State and Stanford are back on the court now. Oregon State starting it off with possession. They're trying to get it past the top of the key, but a kick ball by Lacey Hull will reset their possession. Von Olhoffen and Mack back on the floor for the Beavers, as AJ Marat will make her first appearance on the court for today's game. Cutting down the left side with the ball, spin move, puts it up and drops one in for Oregon State, making it 19-4. Lacey Hull quick to get it in, pushing the pace, gets it to her sister Lexi on the other side. Cameron Brink now working in the middle. Brink puts one up over Kennedy Brown, drops that one in. 21-4 Stanford, 7.5 minutes to go. Cotting taking her time, bringing the ball up the floor. Passes it to Mack on the right side. Mack gets it into Brown in the middle. Brown looking for someone to pass it to. Tries to get the handoff to Cotting, will make it happen. Cotting looking for somewhere to go with the ball, passes it back to Brown at the free throw line. Brown hands it off to Mack, driving down the left side, and that one will go off of someone's knee, go off a Stanford player's knee, so Oregon State will keep possession.
Cameron Brink, not only does she dominate on court for the Stanford Cardinals, she's also thriving in the NIL athlete era. She's got 167,000 followers on Instagram. She's signed with Wasserman Agency. She's a hot commodity, as many female athletes have become in the NIL era.
Ellie Mack shoots one there, won't hit anything. Marat with the rebound tries to get one up, but not in time, and that'll be another shot clock violation for Oregon State. Stanford offensively, Anna Wilson with it on the left side, swings it back around to Lexi Hull, then to Alyssa Jerome in the right corner. Jerome finds Brink in the middle. Brink with the handoff to Lacey Hull. Hull driving up the middle of the paint, Goes up for one, tries to put the floater in, won't make that one, but she will get fouled, so she'll be able to go to the line and shoot 2. Hull is 74% free throw shooter on the season. Looking to make her first one. She'll drop that one in, no problem.
Lacey Hull, kind of the quieter of the two sisters. They came into Stanford together. They won a couple state championships together out in Spokane, Washington. They've done it all together, and here they are in their senior season, possibly coming back for another year due to COVID-19 exemptions, but here they are 4 years later, still playing on the Stanford Cardinal in hunt for another national championship.
Hull missed the second shot. Oregon State on offense. Von Oelhoffen tries to launch one, but that one will bounce off the back of the rim. As Oregon State will come down with the rebound, there'll be a foul on Stanford, so they'll get to reset. They'll get the shot clock back to 20. Cotting on the inbounder, passes it into Brown over the head of Lacey Hull. Von Oelhoffen now working from the top of the key, driving down the right side, puts up the layup on Anna Wilson. As Lacey Hull moves the ball down the floor, set up Stanford's offensive possession. Lacey at the top of the key, gets it into Brink on the left elbow. Brink will put up the jump shot and miss that one. Ellie Mack brings down the rebound for the Beavers. As they all move to the other side of the floor. Cotting at the top of the key, working on Hull. Picks up her dribble, finds Mack on the left wing. Mack matched up with Jerome. Mack passes it into Marat at the right elbow. The foul called there on Lexi Hull, defending Marat. So Oregon State will get it under the basket once again.
Yesterday, Oregon State's AJ Marat, she knocked down a big three-pointer to essentially clinch victory against the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Von Oelhoffen driving to the left side. 3 Stanford defenders in front of her, and it shows as she tries to put one up. Won't hit anything, just in the middle of the paint. Anna Wilson now moving down the court. Sees nothing, pulls it back out, swings it around to Lexi Hull. Wilson gets it back at the top of the key, directing the floor, as she's done for so many years for the Stanford team. Lexi Hull now with it, looks to shoot, passes it down to Wilson in the left corner instead. Wilson will put one up from the mid-range area, will miss that one. As Oregon State brings down the rebound. Emily Cotting swings it to Von Oelhoffen on the right side. Von Oelhoffen passes it to Brown on top of the key. Nothing there, so AJ Marat will pull it out. And she'll pass it down to Cotting, who gets it into Mack on the left block. Swings it to Brown, who tries to shoot the 3, but blocked by Brink. But her teammate, Ellie Mack, with the rebound and gets the putback there, making it 22-8 with 4.5 left to go in the second. Hannah Jump moving quickly, puts up the floater. That one will rim out. And Ellie Mack gets another rebound as Oregon State seems to be getting some momentum here.
22-8 with 4 minutes to play in the first half. Oregon State trying to get some more movement going offensively, trying to get this bigger Stanford team on their feet, moving consistently, not allow them to get settled into their height advantage.
Kennedy Brown fakes out Brink, gets in the air, but can't get the shot. She'll pass it out to Cotting, who hits the 3 there. 22-11. 4 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Oregon State seems to be finding their stride here a little bit. Alyssa Jerome with it at the top of the key. Swings it to Jump on the left side. Jump passes it back to Jerome, who goes down to the right, gets it to Wilson. Wilson pulling it out, set it up, drives on the left side, nothing there, dumps it off to Cameron Brink, who tries to put up the floater, and that one will miss. Mack and Hull fighting for the rebound. Hull will come up with it as Mack gets called for the foul. Haley Jones and Fran Belibi will sub in here as Stanford seeming to lose some of their defense in these last couple of possessions. So that'll send Alyssa Jerome and Cameron Brink to the bench.
Fran Belibi has always been known for her strong defensive positioning. She denies ball hard, she blocks shots, she does all the little things that your team needs if you want to become a stifling defense in the way that Stanford has over the last 3 years.
Jump with it at the top of the key, gets it into Jones. Jones looking. Jones finds Lexi Hull, who misses, hits nothing. And that'll be a turnover for Stanford. Oregon State now gets it. Mack gets it into Cotting. Lexi Hull playing defense all the way up the floor. Mack helping Cotting out, bringing up the ball. Mack finds Camp Schrader on the right side. Camp Schrader looking to find someone. And that'll be foul called as she's standing at the left elbow. Foul called there on Hannah Jump. As Ashton Prechtel will now check into the game for Fran Beliebe, whose time on the court was short-lived in that stint. Oregon State on the inbound. Gets it into Camp Schrader. Camp Schrader pulls up from inside the paint and gets one there, making it 22-13 with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left to play in this first half. Hannah Jump finds Lexi Hull at the top of the key. Ashton Prechtel with the handoff, setting up, tries to get the back screen. Not there. Lexi Hull finds Anna Wilson on the right wing. Wilson will shoot it in Cotting's face, but won't get that one to go in. As Ellie Mack brings down once again another rebound for Oregon State.
Anna Wilson, the fifth-year senior, mostly known for being Russell Wilson's little sister. But if you ask Anna Wilson anything, she'll tell you about the impact that being in a family like that, having her older brother have so much success in the most famous professional sport in the world, how much pressure that's placed on her.
Game getting a little physical here. Ellie Mack with it, thought she should have got a foul call on Haley Jones as the ball gets loose, and Anna Wilson showing that hustle, scrambles for it, and she won't get there in time, and so to go out of bounds off of her. Von Oelhoffen will sub in for Marat and be the inbounder on this play.
Wilson, she made the 2022 Pac-12 all-defensive team.
Von Oelhoffen with the give and go with Brown. She tries to go for the layup but can't get that one. Anna Wilson pushing the pace back up the floor in the other direction. Wilson finds Jones on the right elbow. Jones sees a cutting jump, won't give it to her there, will decide to take it herself. Tries to put it up, but Ellie Mack playing fantastic defense down low will stop Jones there. Ellie Mack, after a slow start, having a great second quarter with 6 rebounds to total in the game, playing excellent defense on Jones there as Emily Cotting brings the ball up for the Beavers. Cotting working on Hull, another all Pac-12 defensive player for this season. Von Oelhoffen at the top of the key, tries to move past Wilson, who will be called for the foul. Jana Van Geitenbeek will sub in here for Lexi Hull.
She's a sophomore guard from Colorado. She was the Colorado Gatorade Player of the Year back in 2020.
Cotting working on Van Geitenbeek, takes one, pulls up, hits it from just outside the paint on the left side. As Oregon State brings this one just a little bit closer, 22-15, minute, 10 seconds left to go. Haley Jones looking to hand the ball off to somebody. Instead will pass it to Wilson on the right wing. Wilson pulls up from the free throw line, drops one in there, extending that Stanford lead just a little bit, 24-15, under a minute left to play in the first half.
Anna Wilson, she's so much more than Russell Wilson's little sister. In her own words a year ago, she made that known, that she is her own individual person, and right now she's dominating in her final Pac-12 tournament appearance.
Cotting, backing Van Geitenbeek down in the paint. Won't get that one as Haley Jones rides up for the rebound. Brings it up the other way to manage the floor for the Cardinal. Pass it off to Wilson, taking keys from Coach Tara Jones with it on the right elbow. Finds Wilson outside. Wilson trying to get past Mack, will step back, shoot the three, and drop it in. 27-15 Stanford. 8 seconds left to go. Von Oelhoffen bringing the ball up, trying to find a move, trying to find a shot. finds Mack, who'll take one deep and drop it in to end the half. She shot that one from the Pac-12 logo on the court to end the half. The most casual, almost half-court shot I've ever seen.
If you're Tara Vanderveer, you're going to be scolding your girls at halftime. You keep Oregon State to just 2 points in the first quarter. You have every ounce of control. And now all of a sudden, Oregon State going into halftime, they're down single digits, and they have all the momentum coming out of half because of that laziness on the final possession. Mack had absolutely no one on her within 3 feet of her. Now granted, she was 30 feet out, right? She was almost at the half court line, so more like 40 feet out. But to get lazy for that last possession, if this game comes down to a possession or two in the second half, Oregon State has a lot of momentum. They've now been playing for, 6 quarters of basketball. It's going to be tough coming out of halftime. I'm going to be curious to see what the Hall of Famer Tara Vanderveer tells her girls of that three-point shot and their defensive intensity in the second quarter.
Absolutely a very big difference in what we saw in the first quarter versus the second. Oregon State put up just 2 points in the first, put up 16 in the second, and Stanford with 16 to start off, only just 11 points in that second quarter. As they head into the locker room for half, Ellie Mack, that was just the most comfortable shot she's taken today, it seemed almost. Von Olhoff and her teammate with the assist just casually tossed it back. Ellie Mack looked like Paul George a couple of years ago when he tossed one up there, similar fashion. Ellie Mack adding that on to her spectacular second quarter performance that goes beyond the stats sheet, as she looked phenomenal out there and helping bring Oregon State within just a few points here.
Oregon State's within shooting distance. We're at halftime, and it looks like Russell Wilson's also in the building this afternoon, cheering on his younger sister Anna in her final Pac-12 tournament. With that, we're going to take a break on BlazeRadioOnline.com. Tia Reed and Gabby Ducharme will be back with more
welcome back. You're listening to Blaze Radio on YouTube. I'm Tia Reed. I'm here with Gabby Ducharme, and we are bringing to you the second half of this quarterfinal matchup between number 1 seeded Stanford and number 8 seeded Oregon State. In the first half, we saw Stanford get out to a hot start, but kind of cooled down in the second quarter. Oregon State very slow to start the game off, just 2 points in that first quarter, but able to bring it within 9 to finish off the half, as the score currently sits at 27-18, as we are just about to get underway with the third quarter.
Tia, you mentioned it. A very cooled off Stanford in that second quarter, allowing number 8 Oregon State back in this ball game. You've got to believe it that Tara Vanderveer had some choice words for the defending national champions at halftime. If they want to defend their national title, it starts now. It starts in this third quarter. It starts by taking the life out of the Oregon State Beavers, and you got to give the Beavers credit. You got to give the Beavers credit for rolling back into this game, for keeping Stanford's shooting percentages low. They're only shooting 33% from the field. So you got to give credit where credit is due. The Oregon State Beavers weathered the storm. That was a really rough first quarter for them. They only had 1 field goal. They had 2 points, but they find themselves down 9, looking to get ready to play defense to start off the game.
Stanford starting off on offense for this quarter. Lacey Holk with the quick handoff to Anna Wilson, who swings it around to Haley Jones. Jones looking, Cameron Brink posting it up. Jones gets it into her in the middle. Brink with the post moves, and that one won't go in. Oregon State's Kennedy Brown brings down the rebound there. Emily Cotting now working on offense. She'll get it to Corisdale on the left elbow. Corisdale finds Von Oelhoffen on the right wing. Von Oelhoffen will shoot the 3 over top of Anna Wilson. Drop that one in for the first points of the second half.
Talia Von Oelhoffen, she's a true freshman from Pasco, Washington. She dominated a season ago. She was the 2021 All Pac-12 freshman team, and she joined Oregon State early out of high school. She joined Oregon State in January of what would have been her senior year.
Stanford's Cameron Brink called for the foul, Oregon State's Von Oelhoffen called for a foul on Jones there. So Jones will go to the free throw line. The story with Von Oelhoffen, like you said, she joined partway through the year last season, with only an honorable mention for the all-freshman team because of that. And so this season, her expectation, played really well in the Pac-12, make the all-freshman team, and she didn't because she's technically not a true freshman because she's already played that one season. As Haley Jones knocks in both of those free throws there for the Cardinal. So Von Oelhoffen on the All-Pac team, but not on the All-Freshman team. Something odd to see when Media Awards first came out. Von Oelhoffen there tried the up and under on Jones, not able to get that one there. Haley Jones will grab the rebound and go coast to coast with it over Emily Cotting on the layup. And Scott Rook will take a very quick timeout to start this half. 31-21. Stanford with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left to go.
Haley Jones, the silent superstar from Northern California. She was on the Jordan Brand Classic team her senior year. She was a McDonald's All-American. She was number 7 in her class, coming out as one of the top-ranked guards in the class of 2019. It took her a couple of years at Stanford to pop, but at the end of her sophomore year, when she was playing in the Final Four, Haley Jones absolutely dominated when her team needed it the absolute most. In the national championship game a season ago, Jones led her team in scoring, assists, and field goal percentages. But in spite of all of those accolades, in spite of winning the national title, being the best player in the country, the very last game of the year, some would argue Haley Jones hasn't gotten the amount of coverage as, say, a Paige Beckers or a Caitlin Clark. Players that have more flashy statistics in other parts of the country. Players that demanded more attention that time of year.
Well, here's what it comes down to. Stanford, like I mentioned in the first half, Stanford has so many pieces that can come at you. And unlike, say, Aaliyah Boston and what she does down in South Carolina and standing out amongst those pieces, Haley Jones kind of blends in there with Cameron Brink. So those two, while they are a two-headed monster that is better than so many teams in this country, it's really hard for her to stand out at the national level. In winning those top Player of the Year awards, she wins awards at the positions. She's got the national recognition. No one's arguing that. But in terms of putting up the numbers to try to go for the big awards, for the big recognition that everyone's keeping their eyes on. Haley Jones has not found a way to do it. And that's another interesting thing to keep in mind is that, I think I mentioned this earlier, we've got a little bit of a difference in the media and coaches Pac-12 awards. Haley Jones, in the eyes of the media, in the eyes of the coaches, was the Pac-12 Player of the Year, but in the eyes of the media, that nod was given to Cameron Brink. While it doesn't really affect Stanford's play with the two players in terms of their development and how they're seen across the board as players and where they rank on the national spectrum, it comes into play a little bit there.
It definitely comes into play. It comes into play with how Tara Vanderveer treats her athletes. It comes into play with how Haley Jones looks from a statistical basis. Nonetheless, the two players that are talked about the most in this country, Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark, they don't have a national title right now. Haley Jones does have a national title. And at the end of the day, that's what players like Jones are going to care about more than, say, the Wooden Award or the Naismith Player of the Year Award. It's going to be fun to see what happens as the Pac-12 tournament progresses and as Stanford continues to dominate in the ways that they have. Many expect that Stanford's going to blow through the Pac-12 tournament. Well, right now, they're not blowing through anyone. Tia, 8:41 to play in the third quarter. Stanford's currently leading over Oregon State 31-21. A quick timeout right there as Oregon State continues to creep back into this ball game.
Oregon State, they'll go on offense coming out of that timeout. Stanford putting on some full court pressure here. And that's an immediate turnover there caused by Jones and Hull on defense. So Stanford now will take possession of the ball as Lacey Hull steps out of bounds to inbound. Lacey Hull will find her sister Lexi on the left wing. Lexi dumps it off to Cameron Brink, and Brink will lay that one in. Stanford staying with full court pressure. Camp Schrader now able to get it across the half court line, passes it off to Cotting. Cotting being defended by Lacey Hull. Finds Camp Schrader on the right wing. Corrisdale coming to set a screen. Camp Schrader won't use it. She'll drive baseline on Wilson. Wilson passes it out to Kennedy Brown. Struggles to get it. Pass it to Cotting, and Cotting will hit the three there from the left wing. 33-24. Oregon State not letting Stanford quite get out of this one. Too easy, not just yet. Lacey Hull finds Haley Jones on the right elbow. Jones driving, spin move over Corrisdale, gets the points, 35-24, 7 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Emily Cotting bringing it up now for the Beavers. Cotting driving right side. Lacey Hull playing the tight defense there, gets called for the foul. As that'll be Stanford's first foul of the quarter. Ellie Mack, the standout for Oregon State in the first half, will check into the game. She'll replace Corrisdale on the floor. Van Olhoffen finds Cotting on the inbounds. Mack trying to post up on Lexi Hull, nothing there, so Cotting will pass it to Kennedy Brown instead. Brown being defended tough by Brink, pass it off to Van Olhoffen, who Brink switches on to. Van Olhoffen drives low. Brink playing the defense, but it was Anna Wilson with the quick hands able to swipe that one out of Van Olhoffen's possession.
Only 2 seconds to play on the shot clock. This is the kind of defense that Stanford suffocated Oregon State with in the first half, making them get into tight situations at the end of the shot clock.
Cotting trying to find someone to inbound, so gets it to Brown. Brown tries to put up the shot. No good there as Lexi Hull puts up the rebound and the shot clock ran out.
Looks like Cameron Brink also got a piece of that, swatting it over to Lexi Hull.
Jones now driving middle from the right corner, tries to fake out Mack, but it didn't work as Mack gets the block, grabs it, pulls it down, not able to take it away herself, so that'll be a jump ball there caused by Lexi Hull, but doesn't matter, it's Oregon State ball.
That was a competitive moment. Last 2 possessions, competitive moments. And what that means is there is no possession that you take off. You don't take a possession off in the Pac-12 tournament. It's a grind, it's a 3-day tournament. You're playing every single day within 24 hours, back to back to back. Major high-level Division I basketball. The last 2 defensive possessions ending in blocked shots, balls out of bounds, girls diving on the floor to save it. Yeah, that's Pac-12 level basketball.
Cotting now working on on Brink. She'll pick up her dribble and find Mack in the middle. Mack with the kick out to Brown, who had a wide open three and gave it up to Cotting to shoot one, and she hits the three-point shot there. 35-27 Stanford with 6 minutes and 27 seconds left to go.
The key to Oregon State's comeback in this basketball game, the three-point arc. They've made 5 of 12 in the second and third quarters alone.
Anna Wilson trying to answer, but she won't be able to as Ellie Mack comes up with the rebound. Emily Cotting bringing it up once again for the Beavers. Cotting finds Brown on the right wing. Brink defending. Brink playing tough defense, trying to get in there with her hands, but gets called for the foul. And that'll be the second foul forward for Stanford as AJ Marat checks in the game for Emily Cotting for the Beavers. Von Oelhoffen, the inbounder. She finds Brown in the right corner. Steps back, takes the three, was Von Oelhoffen on the quick handoff for Brown, but she won't make that one. Haley Jones bringing the ball up, working down low on Marat, a bit of a mismatch, tries to get the reverse and it'll go in. So Haley Jones will extend that lead back out to 10 for the Cardinal. Wilson now defending on Von Oelhoffen. Oregon State sets up their half-court offense. Mack with the pull-up jumper from the right side, knocks that one in, no problem, as she continues to stand out today for the Beavers. Lexi Hull now working in the paint, can't find anything there, pass it back out to her sister, who finds Jones on the opposite elbow. Jones swings it across the court to Cameron Brink for the three in the left corner. Knocks that one in. 40-29 Stanford now with 5 minutes left to go in this third quarter.
The Pac-12 Player of the Year, showing why she's the Pac-12 Player of the Year. Cameron Brink can play inside and she can play out. 10 points, 4 of 7 from the field with 2 3-pointers early in the third quarter here.
AJ Marat driving on Lacey Hull, loses the ball a little bit. Can't get in close enough. And there'll be a foul called there on Stanford. Both of these teams working extremely hard right now to keep this game where it's at. Stanford trying to push their lead a little bit more. Oregon State trying to keep it within striking distance as just over 4.5 minutes left to go in this third quarter, as Oregon State trying to keep it within a reasonable distance so they can try to go for the upset come the fourth.
That's the media timeout right now. And with that, I'm actually going to step off the broadcast. Walker Smith is going to take over. I have another commitment in just about 1 hour. So we're going to go to break here on Blaze Radio, blazeradioonline.com. Walker Smith is going to take over as analyst in this third quarter alongside Tia Reed. We'll be right back.
Welcome back in on Blaze Radio on YouTube. Coming out of that media timeout, I'm now joined by Walker Smith here for the second half of this game. As Stanford will start off with possession coming out of that timeout. Lacey Hull with the pass into Haley Jones, and she'll get that one in to go. Making it 42-29 Stanford with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in this third quarter. Emily Cotting now passes to Camp Schrader on the left side. Camp Schrader driving baseline, met by Brink. She won't be able to. Finds Kennedy Brown at the free throw line. Brown will take the jump shot and will miss that one as Brink comes down with the rebound. Anna Wilson bringing the ball up here now. Gets it into Jones once again. Jones matched up with Mack down low. Mack passes it out to Brink, who quickly swings it down to Lexi Hull in the left corner. Hull drives in, passes it back out to Mack, who swings it around to her sister Lacey Hull, who passes it into Haley Jones, the right corner, makes the cross-court pass back to Brink. Brink with the spin move down low, and that one will just bounce out. No good on the shot there.
Brink's going to be kicking herself for missing that one. She had a wide-open layup off a great spin move, just a little too much to the left.
Kennedy Brown will now pass it out to Ellie Mack, who drives the left side. Brown moves to the three-point line, takes the shot there. Won't get that one as Haley Jones comes down with it and heads back the other direction. Jones taking it herself, pulls up from the free throw line, knocks that one in. Adding another 2 points on the board for Stanford, making it 44-29, 3 minutes left to play in the third.
Jones with 14 points in this one. On 6 for 14 shooting, not a bad performance from her, but she's been all over the floor.
AJ Marat now working with it. Finds Kennedy Brown on the right elbow. Brown hands it off to Camp Schrader, top of the key. Camp Schrader driving left, right side, misses the layup there. As Cameron Brink gets the rebound, makes the full court pass to Lacey Hull, who finds Lexi Hull, who misses another layup on the other side for Stanford.
Both teams seem to have found a lid on their basket as Brink ran into an Oregon State player in the backcourt, but nothing was called.
Oregon State fans calling for the foul, won't get the call there. As Camp Schrader dribbling around the perimeter, trying to get the offense in motion. Mack fighting down low with Hull for position as Kennedy Brown with the ball. Finds Mack on the right block. Mack with the turnaround jump shot from the paint. Knocks one in there.
Beautiful fadeaway from Mack. Just pivot backwards, jump, fadeaway, impressive.
Haley Jones now standing on the perimeter. She'll drive left, crossover, go to the right side, go for the layup. Excellent defense by Oregon State, and so that one will be no good. As we've got several Stanford players checking into the game. Hannah Jump, Fran Belibi, and Agnes Emanopu will all step onto the floor now.
Haley Jones, the only Cardinal staying on the floor.
Just a minute and 50 seconds left to play here. Haley Jones now with it, driving across the paint to the right side. Goes up for it. That one's jumped by Cotting as the ball gets passed around. Tanopu finds jump at the top of the key for the three-point shot.
Controversial call. Haley Jones went up and came back down. An Oregon State player got a hand on it, though, so it's no up and down, and jump hits her first shot of the day.
Ellie Mack slowing things down a little bit here in this game. Mack will pass it to Cotting on the right wing. Cotting working on Agnes, on Emanopu. Cotting tries to drive, gets fouled by Emanopu, and so she will give her team a chance to reset.
Oregon State's got to get something here. They've let Stanford go on a little bit more of a run, and they haven't been able to answer as 3 players, make it 4 players, check in for Oregon State as well.
So Oregon State will make a near full team substitution of their own, as Anna Wilson also checks in onto the floor for the Cardinal.
If Oregon State wants to stay in this one, this possession is crucial. They're down 16 after only being down 9 a couple minutes ago.
Taya Adams, the inbounder, finds the 6'9 Mitrovic over the head of Belibi, who swings it around to Von Oelhoffen, drives left on Wilson. Wilson strips it before the ball is even up in the air.
Quick hands by Wilson.
That's a staple of that good defense that Wilson has showed throughout her time at Stanford. We see it right there.
She's a great defensive player. She's been a pretty good defender today, and she's got a couple threes to her name as well.
Von Oelhoffen in the left wing working on Wilson, drives middle, dumps it off to Jelena Mitrovic, who gets stripped by Wilson again. Wilson now bringing the ball up, finds jump on the left wing, jump, puts the 3 up, not able to get that one, and Ellie Mack comes down with the rebound. Taya Adams now bringing the ball up for the Beavers.
This is Mack's 8th rebound of the day. She's been crashing the boards well, scoring pretty well today too.
Von Oelhoffen driving down the right side, tries to put one up and draw the foul on Belibi, but no call there for her. As a laser pass gets made down to Fran Belibi down low, but she can't convert that layup there. Taya Corsdale will bring the rebound down, and so Oregon State now will take over on offense.
15 seconds on the clock. This will be the last possession.
Adams to Mitrovic on the left wing, back out to Mack at the top of the key, to Von Oelhoffen now on the left wing. Von Oelhoffen driving on Wilson, puts it up. Wilson with the defense, straight up, gets the block, and that'll end the third quarter there. Several phenomenal defensive stops by Wilson single-handedly to close out that quarter and keep this deficit at 16 heading into the fourth.
Wilson really stepping up there, and all those plays have come down low in the paint. She's not the tallest, but she's got quick hands, knows when to put her hand in when the opposing player is going up for a shot. Incredible play, gets a rejection there on the last possession, and a rejection a couple plays before. Incredible into the quarter for her.
16-point deficit right now for the Beavers. 10 minutes left to play in this game. We will take a quick break, and then we will be coming right back at you with some fourth quarter action. Back for the fourth quarter of this game. Number 1 seeded Stanford versus number 8 Oregon State here at the Women's Pac-12 Tournament from Las Vegas. I'm Tia Reed here with Walker Smith, and you're listening at Blaze Radio on YouTube. As we get started with the fourth quarter, Adams passing it into Mitrovic on the right wing. Mitrovic gets it back to Adams as she cuts through the lane. Adams finds Mack on the left elbow. Mack working on Haley Jones, swings it back out to Mitrovic for the three-pointer from the top of the key, but that one will bounce out, and Lexi Hall will get the rebound.
These next couple of minutes are going to be crucial for Oregon State. If they can't start something now, down 16, it's going to be really tough to come back on this incredible Stanford team.
Kiki Iriafen in here now for Stanford as she gets her first minutes of the game. And she'll pass it to Lexi Hull, who will have her shot knocked out of bounds.
Good block by Mack there. Hull was driving across the paint. Mack staying hip to hip, goes straight up and gets the block.
Hull now the inbounder. Passes it into Wilson, who will pull up for the jump shot. Just off the mark on that one. And there's a fight down low for the rebound, and that one will result in a jump ball, staying with Stanford on the possession there.
Good hustle down there by Oregon State. Making Stanford work for it, even though they're down a bunch.
Camp Schrader now checking in for Von Olhoffen. As Stanford gets ready to inbound the ball once again. This time, Hull will find Jones. Jones working on Brown. Can't get anything there. Wilson finds Iriafen on the right elbow, passes it out to Jones just inside the three-point line. She'll knock one in to extend Stanford's lead, 49-31, with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in the game.
That's 16 points for Jones. You can't let her heat up here if you're Oregon State.
Mack working in the corner, hands it off to Camp Schrader. Camp Schrader passes it across the top to Adams, who drives down the right side. That one just short of the rim. As Emma Nopu comes down with the rebound and gets it to Wilson to go on offense. Ball is swung down to Lexi Hull on the left side, who gets it into Iriafen, who puts in the easy jump shot there. Her first points of the day, extending that Stanford lead to 20.
Iriafen had about a half a foot on Adams, who was guarding her, just pulled up from 8 feet. Hit nothing with the net.
Adams tosses one over the head of Emma Nopu into Kennedy Brown, working on Iriafen. Brown stranded out top, finds Adams. Adams driving down the left side, 2 Stanford defenders in front of her, finds the open man in Kennedy Brown, but not able to get that one on the jump shot. So Haley Jones will get the rebound and head the other way. Haley Jones dumps it off to Iriafen for the easy left-handed layup. Stanford's lead now at 22 as it sits at 53-31, 7.5 minutes left to play in the fourth.
Haley Jones cracking a smile to Iriafen off a picture-perfect pick and roll at the free throw line. And we're going to have an Oregon State timeout.
Scott Ruick will use one of his timeouts there, as he's got to do something to get his team back in the mindset to get back into this game after they were so close at the end of the second.
Yeah, and I said it at the beginning of the quarter, that first 2.5 minutes, Oregon State needed to do something, but Stanford, they just stood tall and didn't let anything happen, continuing to just run their offense, play defense, get good shots where they're there. Stanford not forcing anything, while Oregon State is going to have to force the issue if they want to get back into this one.
Oregon State is going to need to be putting some shots in here. We'll see what they can do when we come back from this short break, as they're in a timeout. coming back into this game, added that time out. We've got Oregon State versus Stanford here as they're playing out this final quarter. 22-point deficit for the Beavers. So while this game is underway, we will provide you with an update on the situation from Charlie Turner Thorne and Arizona State. Arizona State played Oregon State yesterday, got knocked out of the tournament. And there was a report earlier today that Charlie Turner Thorne was stepping down from the head coaching position at ASU. And after this press conference today, it is now official. CTT has announced that she's retiring. She says it's just time. So Arizona State will now be on the hunt for a brand new head coach.
And it's a real shocker here to us in Vegas. We couldn't really pick up on anything until we saw the report from Cronkite News this morning. Shocking, 25 years as Arizona State's head coach. Number 2 in all-time Pac-12 wins with 488. I mean, she's one of the great Pac-12 coaches, one of the great women's coaches we've ever seen, and we just hope the best for her as she starts the next chapter after coaching.
CTT, an ASU legend, leading so many teams to postseason tournaments, whether it be the NCAA or the NIT. So much success in her career at ASU. Her time now with the Sun Devils has officially come to an end after yesterday's loss.
Yeah, we just hope the best for her. She made 11 of ASU's 14 NCAA tournament appearances in their history. A pivotal coach in just Arizona State sports history. She'll be remembered. Her jersey will likely be up in the rafters at some point at Arizona State. We just hope the best for her. We still got 6.5 left in this game between Oregon State and Stanford.
Yes, with that being said, hard to focus on outside things as this big news for ASU comes in, but we will deliver to you the rest of this game. As Walker said, 6.5 minutes left to go. Score currently 55-33, Stanford. As Stanford now on offense after a missed shot by Camp Schrader. Haley Jones working down low, gets the turnover there. Emily Cotting able to come away with the steals. Van Olhoffen will drive up the left side of the hoop and be fouled by 2 players almost from Stanford, as both Anna Wilson and Lexi Hull were there for the stop, but the foul will go to Hull.
Oregon State down 22 with 6 left. Important free throws here if they want to start a run.
Van Olhoffen will go to the line to shoot 2. She'll make the first one there. She'll step back up to the line for the second shot.
It's been a rough day for Von Olhoffen. She's 2 for 13 from the field, and those were only her 7th point of the day. Rough outing for her.
Von Olhoffen able to make both of those shots as Lacey Hull checks in for the Cardinal for her sister Lexi. Von Olhoffen having a rough time, like you said, being defended primarily by Anna Wilson, known for her defense, spectacular defender, doing it time and time again here for Stanford today, offensively and defensively.
Oh, what a pump fake.
Kiki Iriafen with the pump fake there, can't get that one to go as Anna Wilson will pull it out. She'll shoot a laser pass down to Haley Jones on the left block, who tries to go for the reverse, but that one just barely bounces out as Oregon State comes down with the rebound. Von Olhoffen driving past Hull, gets it to Camp Schrader in the corner, who finds Cotting, drives on the left side, who finds Mack at the 3-point line for the shot. Mack can't get that one, but her teammate Corzell comes down with the rebound, but it's taken away by Wilson. Stanford now trying to take their time, run some time off of this clock. Haley Jones working in the paint, finds Emma Nopu on the left wing, gets it to the hole at the top of the key, who finds Iriafen left elbow, but she will try to move and will get called for the travel instead.
Couple subs here for Stanford.
Coming onto the floor for Stanford, Fran Belibi and Brooke Dimitri, the freshman from California, number 11 recruit in the class of 2021 according to ESPN, hits the floor for her first Pac-12 tournament action.
She was a 5-star recruit coming into Stanford, and that just shows how deep this Stanford team is. They're a complete team. You can have a 5-star freshman on your bench just for reserve situations when the game looks like it's a rout.
Ellie Mack taking the three, won't be able to get that one as Corisdale grabs the rebound, fighting Beliebe for it, but able to pull it away. Mack will get it back in the paint this time, not able to put in the floater.
Oregon State only shooting 27% from the field today, while Stanford's got it at 40.
Wilson will kick it out to Dimitri, who takes her first shot, but won't be able to get it. As Emily Cotting comes down with the rebound, and Lacey Hull is called for the foul there. Dimitri was a McDonald's All-American, played in the Jordan Brand Classic, California Gatorade Player of the Year in a state that has a lot of top players. And like you said, just wild to see her coming off the bench for this Stanford team.
I mean, there's probably not a more complete team in NCAA women's basketball than the Cardinals. They could play 9 deep if they wanted to, but they have so much talent up top, it kind of makes you forget how much talent they have off the bench.
Dimitri steps back to shoot the three, not able to get it, but Beliebe comes down with the rebound, and she'll be fouled by Corisdale, trying to bring it down as well. So now Jordan Hamilton will check into the game for Stanford as Stanford starts to bring in some of their players who haven't seen as much time throughout this season. Hamilton, a 5th-year player who hasn't seen much time on the floor. She played at Northwestern before transferring to Stanford this season. She now steps onto the floor.
Redshirt sophomore Noelle Mannon checks in for Oregon State as well. She hasn't seen the court today. Starting to bring in the backups as this one's looking pretty much in hand. Stanford up 20 with 3:40 to play.
Levy misses both those free throws as Corisdale comes down with the rebound and gets it out to Mannon. Mannon finds Mack on the left wing, who hands it off to Von Oelhoffen. Wilson going for the steal, not able to get it. Von Oelhoffen gets it to Mannon at the top of the key, who finds Camp Schrader on the right side. Camp Schrader gets it into Corisdale, working on Dimitri, but Fran Beliebe strips it away as there's a scramble for the ball now. Oregon State comes up with it, so they won't get the turnover, and Von Oelhoffen launches a three and hits the bottom of the net with that one.
Great hustle play by Mannon. Body's hitting the floor. She's the first one on the ball, passes it out, which leads to the assist on the three-point shot.
Hamilton now with the ball, finds Dimitri on the left wing. Dimitri gets it into Beliebe on the right elbow. Eminopu cutting, Beliebe won't give it to her. Beliebe driving into Mack, but Mack will be called for the blocking foul as Van Guytenbeek will check into the game for Anna Wilson, who's probably played her last of this game. Wilson getting lots of support from this Stanford crowd, including her brother, superstar NFL player Russell Wilson, who was in attendance at this game at Michelob Ultra Arena.
Sitting just behind us, about 20 yards to our left, out here supporting the Cardinals.
Van Guytenbeek launches a deep three off the inbounds play, not able to convert on that one. Von Oelhoffen bringing it up, makes a move on Eminopu, tries to lay one in, but not able to. Corisdale on the hustle play, gets the rebound. Oregon State able to reset here for a second. Corisdale fighting with Dimitri down low, rewarded for her hustle there, and she'll get the foul called on Dimitri.
Both these teams making sure they play to the whistle. These young players that get this time, they aren't going to take an advantage. They're going to go out there and they're going to play it like it's 0-0.
Camp Schrader driving, passes it out to Mack on the right wing, defended by Beliebe. Mack trying to find something inside, gets a step back, turn around, knocks it in there. Oregon State trying to just have a good showing to finish off here. It's 55-40 with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. Oregon State will call a timeout. Erie Affin will check into the floor when we come out of this timeout, as will Anna Wilson, who actually will make an appearance back on the floor in these final 2.5 minutes, as will the Hull sisters and Haley Jones.
Just making sure nothing goes awry. Put Wilson in, she'll make sure to lock up someone. And, you know, Mack has been played really hard out there. She's a 5th-year senior. This is likely to be her last game for Oregon State as well, but she's played a good game despite the stat sheet not really saying it. She's got 13 points on 5 for 11 shooting. She's had a good night, hustled the whole time.
Ellie Mack, this is just her 2nd year in Power 5 basketball. As she played for Bucknell prior to that. She's having a great game. We've got a few more updates here for Charlie Turner Thorne in her retirement. Sun Devil Athletics found out today that she would be stepping down at around noon Mountain Standard Time. She said she's still going to be working. She's not stepping away from the game of basketball entirely. She's floating some ideas potentially of doing some other things, maybe broadcasting, some other things that she wanted to pursue, but just no longer coaching. She said when you talk to coaches who have been around for a long time, you just know. And CTT just knew it was time for her to take on another path.
And regardless, even if she's not coaching, keeping Charlie Turner Thorne, whether it's in the booth, reporting, or whatever she wants to do up next, it'll still be great to have her around basketball. She's one of the greats to ever do it.
Charlie Turner Thorne, not just an ASU, not just a Pac-12 legend, but a legend in the women's game entirely. From one Legends team to another, Tara Vanderveer here, coaching her team through their first game of the Pac-12 tournament. They're up pretty nice, 15-point lead with just under 2 minutes left to play. Taya Corsdale pulling down a rebound there, gets fouled, and so she'll head to the other side of the court to shoot 2, as that was Stanford's 5th foul of the game.
Yeah, it's their 5th foul of the 4th quarter, so maybe going to be a little prolonged last, a little bit under 2 here in the 4th.
Corsdale stepping up for her first shot, knocks it in.
14-point game here. Brink actually coming back to the scorer's table as well. A lot of starters still here in this one.
Corsdale will miss her second shot as Haley Jones pulls it down. And they'll say that, and they'll call foul on Noelle Mannon trying to play tough defense on Jones.
They're just going to say a little bit too much of a hip check by Mannon. She had her arms out following Jones, but a little too aggressive.
So Stanford will get to reset their possession. Lacey Hull there with just quick slip of the mind, double dribbles, not something you see happen a lot nowadays, and so that'll be a turnover on her. Just a quick lapse in what was going on, losing a little bit of focus, but she'll turn right around and defend Mannon here as Oregon State now is on offense. Camp Schrader with it on the right wing, passes it into Mack, who swings it back out to Mannon, who hits the 3-point shot there. Oregon State not wanting to go down quietly as they're still putting up a fight here, down by just 11 with 1:20 to go.
Bench getting excited for Mannon. That's her first bucket of the tournament for someone who doesn't play a lot.
Lacey Hull with it, Mannon defending, tried to go for the steal, not able to get it. It's passed now to Lexi Hull in the left wing, who swings it down to Jones in the left corner. Jones working all the way around the paint, puts in the layup there, making it 57-44 as Jones scores her 20th points of the night, excuse me.
Another great performance from Haley Jones. There's really nothing she can't do out on the court, and she's showing it, trying to close this game out for the Cardinals.
Stanford staying with their tough defense. Camp Schrader swings one across the court to Corsdale, swings it to Mannon, tries for the 3 again, but no good on that one as Jones brings it down. 35 seconds left to play. Stanford trying to just dribble it out. Haley Jones, though, season opening, goes for it, goes for the layup. No good there. Cameron Brink got the rebound, tried to shoot one again. Also no good, so Oregon State will get another possession here. Finishing off this game for some of these seniors on this team. Von Oelhoffen trying to dribble through 4 Stanford defenders, but that one is stripped away by Wilson, and she will take it out for the last 12 seconds. Hold the ball as the applause starts to rise here at Michelob Ultra. Stanford gets through their first game. Not too many problems. 57-44, your final score here for this quarterfinal matchup. I mean, Stanford, #2 team in the country, defending national champion, didn't lose a game in Pac-12 play. They'll stay clean on their Pac-12 record for the season.
Yep, and they came out here and showed why they're probably the best team in the nation. A complete game from all their players. Wilson shooting and playing defense. Haley Jones being all over the court. Brink having 10 points, couple of outside shots. This team is borderline unstoppable, and Oregon just wasn't the immovable object to stop them today.
With that win, Stanford will move on to the semifinal round to take on the Colorado Buffaloes, who pulled off the upset versus Arizona today. The final score of that game was a close deficit there. So now Stanford will move on to play Colorado. Later on this afternoon, we will finish out the next 2 games of this quarterfinal. We'll have Walker and a newcomer to Las Vegas, Kevin Malater, on the call for Oregon versus UCLA at 6 p.m. And then finishing off the night, I will be joined in the booth by Kevin for Washington State versus Utah at 8:30, capping off the night once again. Thanks everybody for tuning in, for listening. From Michelob Ultra, I'm Tia Reed with Walker Smith.